Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. I'm the founder, I'm the editor-in-chief, I'm kind of the jack of all trades for thegaminggang.com. So welcome aboard. It is Tuesday night. This is Tuesday, March 10th. 2020. This is episode 452 of The Daily Dope. If this is your first time that you've popped in to catch the show, be it if you're live or if you're watching after the fact, keep in mind this is very, very casual. Just sharing some tabletop gaming news. That's pretty much what we do around here. Every once in a while, we might talk a little pop culture, TVs, movies, computer games. Yeah, I'm a computer game fan, but for the most part it is tabletop gaming. Of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it will not only notify you when the Daily Dope goes live Mondays through Thursday nights, but it'll also tell you when I upload my standalone videos as well. Should have at least one this week. I don't mean this weekend. There's going to be some stuff this weekend that's going to pop up. But should be a video this week, and I will tell you what that is in just a moment. But do also want to mention, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that does mean there is chat available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do really try to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. I do see the Madman has joined us in chat already. Good to see you. Very good to always have you joining us, Madman, because you are one of our role-playing aficionados, like myself personally. So, got some good RPG news for you I think you might enjoy as well. So, did mention that I am going to have a standalone video sometime this week. It will be for Dungeons & Dragons Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, which I talked to my contact who handles Wizards of the Coast D&D releases, and that did ship out, but it was late last week. I'm a little surprised because as of late, like Dungeon Mayhem Monster Madness, that shipped out pretty late too. Usually with the D&D books, usually have a couple of weeks before they come out, so that way I can share a first look video, as well as dive in and be able to review it before it arrives in stores. It kind of give you a heads up. I don't know, maybe not this time. I have no clue. But it is on the way. Yay! Cool beans. I am absolutely ignorant about the whole setting because I don't watch Critical Role. I say it time and time again. I've got nothing against Critical Role. I got nothing against people who watch it, people who are involved in it. It's just not really my cup of tea. And I have very little time to do anything outside of this stuff. So, what can I tell you? Nah, I'm just teasing. So, the Madman says, yes, looking forward to that first look at the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. I hope that's how it's pronounced. I will have to double check, because I'll feel like a complete dope if I'm sitting there going through and taking a first look shooting video and mispronouncing the name of the setting. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past me to do that, though. Yes, I know. All right, let me grab a sip here. Do want to mention, I do have the two cats down with me in the Duct Tape Studios tonight. Do not be surprised if we do hear from Pinkie at some point in time. Yo, look at that. It's like on cue. As I saw it at the corner of my eye, she got out of her little bed. There's a multitude of cat beds. So does my cat, Smokey. And figured, here we go. Here we go. You know, it's weird though. Sometimes you can't really pick it up. Unless she's like right here. And sometimes she will walk right up to me and be like, wow. And she's been fed. Trust me, these cats eat all the time. They eat, sleep, and use the box. That's about what they do around here. And lay on my lap. So we've got that. So the Madman says, I tried watching Critical Role. Don't have the time to dedicate to it either. It really is something that you got to watch pretty much on a weekly basis. Otherwise, I think you're going to be lost. So, yeah, I can see that. Of course, you could probably wait until the end of the season and kind of binge watch all of the shows. But once again, that's probably a pretty big investment of time. So Flaming Heron is in chat. Good to see you, Flaming Heron. Thanks for joining us tonight. Once again, I'm messing around with the lighting, trying to get the lighting just a little more natural looking. Sometimes I'm too washed out. There's times I'm a little too dark. It looks like tonight again, it looks a little too dark. My cheeks and everything look a little too red. Hey, that's what happens. This is a live stream, right? I don't have the ability to sit there and color adjust on the fly. So, Flaming Heron says, I don't know who does either. The Madman, too much time spending watching videos and streams as is. Oh, doesn't know anyone who watches Critical Role. There are loads of people out there. So, God love them. Like I said, I have nothing to do or against Critical Role. Yes, come on. They have an understanding of what's going on in the story. It's not like everything is just completely off the cuff. But who cares? I know people complain about that, but who cares? Dude, you watch TV shows, they're scripted and you're entertained, so what's the big deal? Plus, I also point out that Critical Role, kind of like newbies to role-playing games, puts maybe an unrealistic expectation for game masters out there. Maybe not myself. I mean, I've been running games for a long, long time. Probably not folks watching as well, because I know I've got a lot of veteran gamers out there. But when people are just first starting out being game masters and dungeon masters, it can be quite daunting. So, I don't know. Anyway, so Gray Day is popped in. It's like, oh, it's Tuesday. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday. We got a lot of news, so let's jump on in. Because Funko Games has plans for gaming titles that aren't simply vinyl pops. And it was revealed that Godzilla Tokyo Clash will be arriving at Target stores this spring, later on in October, everywhere else. I've got a wee bit of dope. In Godzilla Tokyo Clash, you play as the Earth's most fearsome kaiju, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, or Ghidorah. Some people like to pronounce it Ghidorah. Some people pronounce it Ghidorah. And Megalon. I'm surprised Megalon's in there, but Megalon is kind of like one of the original kaiju. In fact, I want to say, wasn't the Megalon movie, didn't that come out after the original Godzilla? I might be wrong. Don't know. Anyway, back to the sell sheet info. So you'll play as the Earth's most fearsome kaiju, battling for dominance as the most terrifying monster in Japan, with detailed miniatures of the legendary monsters and a modular cityscape of 3D buildings to destroy. It's an epic battle every time you play. In more detail, each player has their own deck of cards unique to the kaiju they control. As you throw trains and tanks at opponents and attack them directly to cause damage, you can burn cards out of your deck, reducing your options on future turns. As you stomp through the city, you can earn energy, which can help you lay out permanent enhancements to your abilities. The game is for 2 to 4 players. Its ages 10 and up, plays around 45 minutes. It will carry an MSRP of $39.99. Yowza. Very interesting. Hey, we've got Prospero Hall hanging out in chat tonight. Good to see you, folks. I wonder if it's one of the folks that I interviewed at San Diego Comic-Con about Funko Games. One thing I do want to point out, so I am sharing an image here from someone's Facebook account from Brazil, because that was the only image outside of the box cover that I could find. And you can see these are not vinyl pops. These are minis. And I gotta say, they look pretty sweet. So we see King Ghidorah, as well as Godzilla. We see the 3D buildings. It also looks as if this is, if you look, it almost looks like it's hexagonal tiles. And it almost looks like King Ghidorah is standing like, he's probably flying over the Japanese sea. It looks like there's some ship tokens or counters there. Looks really interesting, I have to say. So, and I gotta admit, I'm a Godzilla nut. Although I haven't seen a lot of the Godzilla movies from about 2008 on. So there was that one, like, I think it was like a trilogy of movies that came out. And yes, I am actually going to watch Shin Godzilla this weekend. I already got it all planned. So just wanted to share that news. Funko Games has another release that they have mentioned. I will share info about that on tomorrow's show. Moving right along, from Bezier Games comes word that they've got a Gen Con 2020 release already planned. I've got the dope on Whistle Mountain. Whistle Stop designer Scott Caputo has teamed up with Luke Laurie, Manhattan Project, Energy Empire, to create a new worker placement strategy title. Whistle Mountain gives a nod to Whistle Stop, but in this standalone game, you leave the train tracks behind and head to the sky with blimps, dreadnoughts, and hot air balloons. In Whistle Mountain, take your company's massive profits from all of that railroading and invest them in new technologies deep in the Rocky Mountains, where there is an abundance of resources. Your workers build crazy arrays of scaffolds and machines, upgrading your abilities and collecting resources. As you build with the help of your airship fleet, the mountain's melting snow causes the water below to rise higher and higher, putting workers in danger and increasing the tension on the dynamically changing board. Because the resources you gather are determined by what players build, each game evolves differently, resulting in endless replayability. You have to choose between acquiring new abilities and enhancements for your airships and workers, or building all sorts of contraptions as quickly as possible in order to achieve victory on Whistle Mountain. Whistle Mountain is going to be for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. It's going to play in about 60 to 90 minutes. I don't have any word on an MSRP. I have absolutely no images whatsoever outside of the box top. I believe this is being shown off at Gamma. It's being shown off at the Gamma trade show, or a prototype may be being shared at Gamma. But I do understand this is going to arrive at Gen Con. Not positive if we're going to see that as a release everywhere else at the same time. Sometimes we do see the Gen Con releases come out, and it's usually a couple of months before we see them hit retailers, both online and brick and mortar. Could be kind of cool. Could be kind of cool. I have to admit, Bezier Games, back when Elliot Miller was part of the gaming gang, my best friend, he worked with them as far as their games. And a lot of their games were very, very light. So not necessarily up my alley. This actually sounds like it's got a little bit of meat on its bones. So it's nice to see Bezier kind of investing a little bit into a bit more in-depth fare, as opposed to, say, like One Night Werewolf or Werewolf or any of the other werewolf titles they do as well. So pretty cool. Keep your eyes open for that. So, a Gray Day says, I'm excited about Mithril on Kickstarter, something I am not familiar with. I'll have to take a peek. Always like when people in chat say, hey, I'm looking forward to this. It's on Kickstarter, and then I go take a look, see what's going. So, moving right along, Worthington Publishing, speaking of Kickstarter, has a new Kickstarter. It's out there. It's about 400% funded at the moment. And it is Cowboys 2, Cowboys and Indians. Here's a dope from Worthington. In 2007, we published Cowboys. It was a very popular title and sold out. Now we are kickstarting Cowboys 2, Cowboys and Indians edition. Although I also see on Kickstarter it says Deluxe Edition. Not sure what that is. So it's either the Cowboys and Indians edition or the Deluxe Edition. It is the same game in all its 6-shooter glory. Cowboys 2 is a new game based on our original Cowboys game. All new board scenarios / episodes. More Cowboys and Indians. Also new are custom movable terrain and Cowboys setting elements that allow a complete sandbox environment where players create the Old West the way they like it. Cowboys 2 is a game about the Old West. Some fact, some fiction. It pits opposing sides against each other, bringing to life the daring and dastardly deeds of heroes and villains when the way of the gun ruled the day. The main characters are cowboys. These were the lawmen, gunfighters, gamblers, and ne'er-do-wells who knew how to handle themselves during a gunfight. Also, the townfolk will show up to rescue the day or add a much-needed gun to the fight. Watch out! You never know when the Indians are going to show up. I don't know, a little weird to have Indians like that in games nowadays, right? Almost doesn't seem PC. Not that I'm a super PC guy, but some gunfighters are better than others, and this is shown through modifiers for skill. Beware, being the top shot often means you are the first target. Who do you bring to the dance? Pistols, rifle, or shotgun. All are deadly, each have limitations. And what would a cowboy be without his trusty horse, which allows him to get out of town twice as fast as boot leather, and some cards, and a bit of luck. A well-played hand can leave you walking from the table with a smile, and your opponent's in a bad fix. Gunfights in Cowboys 2 uses cards to show luck, good and bad, daring, bravery, or lack of it, and skills. So take your drink, steady your hand, and prepare to slap leather and draw. What was that from Deadwood? Smoke Wagon? Wasn't that it? Smoke Wagon? Cowboys 2 has larger, reconfigured 11x11 mounted boards, new game boards, solitaire rules, a wagon load of new episodes, new player mats, new characters, a role-playing element, play one character through a number of scenarios as well. Players take control of between 1 to 10 characters in each episode, moving them across the boards trying to complete the objectives for the episodes. Sometimes it's breaking out of jail. Sometimes it's finishing off all the other characters, robbing banks, maybe some cattle rustling, gunfights, fistfights, escaping, there's bounty hunting, or handling a bunch of attacking Indians. It just varies by episode. With a wagon load of episodes, plus easy design it yourself episodes possible, the action is never ending. Worthington does have a video. It is going to show off some more of the materials, some more of the components of the game. So it runs a little more than 2.5 minutes. So why don't we take a peek? I'll be right back. Wow, that video seemed a lot faster than I recall. Anyway, Cowboys 2, Cowboys and Indians, is for 1 to 10 players, ages 10 and up, plays around 30 to 90 minutes. As I mentioned in the opening to this news piece, the project is past the 400% funding level. You can reserve a copy at the $69 pledge level through March 23rd, with an expected delivery of this October. Gotta say, I do believe that Worthington's games are made here in the US. So, I don't think we would see a delay. I mean, okay, there could always be a delay with Kickstarters, right? I'm not saying that. But because we had talked about this a little bit on yesterday's show, we will probably see some delays from games that are made in China due to COVID-19. This, I don't think, would fall into that category because, like I said, I do think that Worthington does actually have their manufacturing here. So I did notice a Gray Day had said, Worthington should have hired an artist. Well, they did hire an artist, obviously enough. Maybe that art just isn't to your liking, but here's something I'm gonna float out there that you may consider. Take a deeper look at this, because I would think it would be very possible, because how it's got the standees, it's grid related. You could probably tweak this system for Old West miniatures. That is a possibility, I would think. I'm not positive, but I would think so. So Gray Day mentions, I think nostalgia is pushing this game. As far as maybe Gunfighter from Avalon Hill, because of course that popped into my head right away when I first saw this. But of course, when I learned a little bit more about it, I was like, oh, it's absolutely nothing like Gunfighter. So, so this could be very interesting. This looks pretty cool. And it's not just typical hex encounter wargaming either. So Flaming Heron mentioned something, non-related news. I had mentioned the Boys TV series, and there is a teaser trailer for season 2. Yes, so I have not had a chance to see the teaser yet. I did hear about it, but I know they had wrapped filming of it a while back because they had actually renewed it. Amazon renewed The Boys. If I remember correctly, they renewed it before it even aired. So they had ordered a second season. I personally thought it was fantastic. I thought it was excellent. Not for everybody, not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought that was very, very cool. Kabuki Kid's in chat. Good to see you, Kabuki Kid. Double K is in the house. So a Gray Day says Dead Man's Hand and Whitewash City are miniatures games. You know, I think I've heard of Dead Man's Hand because I want to say it's from a company that does make a bunch of Western minis. So, a Gray Day, I have not seen the Mithril Kickstarter. I mentioned that previously. Maybe you missed it. I have not seen it. I will take a peek, and if I think if it's newsworthy, I will share it. Although, you have to point out, every once in a while, somebody says, oh, have you seen this Kickstarter? And I check it out, and I'm like, Gotta remember, I am not under any obligation to share Kickstarter news from anyone. So, what can I tell you? So I don't charge companies for reviews, anything like that. So I can look at a Kickstarter and be like, yeah, it looks pretty cool, right? You know, stumble across something. And then there's other stuff that from big name companies. I'm like, all right, moving right along. Like I said, I got a lot of news tonight because let's switch on over to some role-playing news. Because in stores right now, in fact, I believe it arrived today, is the latest, well, kind of latest, I'll mention why in a minute, solitaire adventure book for Chaosium Inc's Call of Cthulhu. I've got the dope on Alone Against the Frost. Solitaire adventure in Canadians. Canadia's wild. Oh, Pinkie's chattering away over here. It's throwing me off a little bit. Pinkie, come on, enough. You got fed, you got water. I don't know what your deal is, kiddo. And funny thing is, she will never like hop on my lap. She is not that kind of cat. Smokey, who's sleeping, she sleeps through the caterwauling. She'll hop up on my lap all the time, but she's usually napping when I do the show. Back to the Call of Cthulhu news. Alone Against the Frost is a solo horror adventure for one player, set during a research expedition to Canada's Northwest Territories during the 1920s. Here, you choose your own path as you navigate through the story. Your choice will determine whether you find success or failure. You take on the role of Dr. L.C. Nadelman, an anthropologist from the renowned Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. Accompanied by 3 of your most gifted and practical graduate students, as well as an experienced local guide, you set off into the fabled valley of the North Hanana in search of the anthropological discovery. Say that. Anthropological. Yeah, I stumble over easy words. I can just roll anthropological right out there. That will make your career and bring you fame. Or so you hope. Your expedition members are Dr. L.C. Nettleman, an academic obsessed by early North American prehistory myths and legends, particularly in the Big Woods region. Bernard Epstein, a cherubic-looking native New Yorker eager to experience life in the wilds before his upcoming marriage to his sweetheart, Catherine. A little more info than we really needed, right? Sylvia Davidson, the latest in a long line of Boston Brahmins. Destined, I should say, for academic greatness thanks to her dedication and determination. There's Norman Faulkner, must be William Faulkner's brother, a mature, largely self-taught student whose calm nature acts as a steadying influence on those around him. And there's Charlie Foxtail, a cautious professional wilderness guide, prepared to lead the expedition safely through the North Hanana. But such a journey is fraught with difficulties, from dangerous whitewater to the superstitious beliefs of the region's inhabitants, not to mention the wildlife, and of course the monster I keep showing you a picture of. Will you manage to survive every challenge this hostile environment throws at you? Will your companions? Can you return with your reputation and your sanity intact? Only time will tell. Armed with a pencil, some role-playing dice, and a copy of the Call of Cthulhu rulebook, or the Call of Cthulhu starter set, you are ready to brave the remote wilderness as one of MU's youngest ever professors. Dare you take on the challenge? The answer is yes. And don't forget to wrap up warm. It can get mighty cold out there. Originally released over 30 years ago. That's why I was joking. It's the latest kind of adventure supplement. This new edition of Alone Against the Frost has been completely revised and updated for Call of Cthulhu's 7th edition. Over 650 entries complete with new illustrations and an afterword by the original author. This 120-page supplement is available in softcover for $19.99 or in PDF through Drive-Thru RPG for $9.99. Very cool, sweet. I have to admit, I don't remember this one. I swear, I think that's supposed to be a Wendigo. I remember a story, Alone Against something. I don't remember it being Alone Against the Frost. And I don't recall it being kind of a solitaire, solo adventure. I don't know. Kind of weird. Kind of cool, though. I always love my Chaosium Call of Cthulhu releases. Yes, and a great day. I understand you were just asking about the Mithril Kickstarter. I swear, I will take a look. I will check it out if I remember. And like I said, if I think it's kind of cool, I will definitely share the info, especially if it's running. Because one thing I do want to mention is that sometimes I get news, and I should mention those of you out there who may have popped in because I had tweeted that White Wizard Games was going to have a news piece from them. My apologies. I thought it was a news piece, And all it really was saying, hey, we got this game. We're going to do a Kickstarter for it later this year. So really isn't a news piece. There really isn't anything to share. There wasn't any like sell sheet info, nothing about the game. Just kind of a box image and kind of like, oh, it's like a robot game. That was like it. So my apologies on that. But yeah, I was just kind of kidding around. Well, I wasn't kidding. I was serious, but it wasn't like I was like, damn it, a great day, stop with the Kickstarter. Yeah, I didn't. Let's do anything like that. Okay, moving right along. Like I said, I got lots and lots of news tonight. So, Call of Cthulhu, always fun. Yes. This is my favorite role-playing game. Even, some of the mechanics are wonky, which I threw out. I definitely stuff this. So, a great day says, free news. Oh, are you psychic? Because, yes, we did mention on yesterday's show that Free League Publishing has entered into an agreement to publish role-playing games based on J.R.R. Tolkien's work. So, here's the dope straight from the announcement yesterday. Free League Publishing announced a partnership with Sophisticated. Here we go. See, I can roll out some words, but sophisticated, I can't pronounce that. Oh, it's quiet now. I think Pinkie has given up. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Now she's racing across the studio here. And that cat is ancient. She's got to be like 14 years old. Anyway, there we go. Free League Publishing has entered into an agreement to publish role-playing games based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. Set in Middle-earth, and Francesco Nepitello, author of the game series alongside Marco Maggi, will continue as its lead designer. I am not sure if this means that Francesco Nepitelli is still involved with this, but Marco Maggi isn't. I sort of have the impression that it might just be Francesco Nepitello. Not positive, because this following quote: "We are thrilled to be working with sophisticated games." Can I say that word today? And Francesco Nepitelli to bring to life a new edition of The One Ring and its 5e iteration. We grew up with J.R.R. Tolkien's iconic works and were huge fans of the original version of the game. We have a very similar approach to game design as Francesco, and we're convinced we can create something truly special together, says Free League CEO Tomas Hammerstam. Free League shares all our values which are vital in interpreting the most extraordinary fantasy world ever created. It's giving it a little too much credit there. One that is of enduring interest throughout the world in every language. Working with Free League's highly talented team, we look forward to continuing the work we began a decade ago with publication of The One Ring, says Sophie. Don't have a last name. I don't know, it just says Sophie. The agreement will go into effect from June 1st, 2020. Products and release dates will be announced at a later time. So, this is what I think. Don't know. You know me. Come on, I just float out my opinion, thoughts on stuff. So it seems as if all the work that was done on the second edition of The One Ring for Cubicle 7 is not getting scrapped. It's probably going to stay in place. One thing I will mention, I know the Year One engine, which powers, say, like Mutant Year Zero, is a 6-sided die-based system. So was the Cubicle 7 One Ring. So it probably won't be too difficult for them to port it over to the Year One engine if they decide to go in that direction. So, Fleming Huron says, this is great news as I really do like Free League stuff. And if this continues what Cubicle 7 started. So, A Great A says, Niles said today we will use the Tor system It's Francesco's game, and we don't want to fix what is not broken. All right, so there you go. I did not see that today. So they are going to stick with the one ring system, which once again, it's a D6 system, not super different. So Gray Day says regarding Simon Stollenhag, he is a partner co-owner of the company. We've been fortunate enough to publish him since day one. Nice. I do understand that Free League is going to send me the starter set for Tales from the Loop. So I'm looking forward to that. That will be cool. So, Pinkie enough. Unfortunately, I have to have them both downstairs here tonight because Pinkie can't be trusted by herself upstairs. And whose fault is that, Pinkie? Not mine. But anyway, so her caterwauling just kind of throws me off, and she is just in rare form today. Anyway, so this is pretty cool. I got to admit, I love my Cubicle 7 entertainment. I'm pals with Dominic McDowell, T.S. Lucart as well. So I've had a really good relationship with the folks over at Cubicle 7 almost from day one. In fact, I remember the first time we went as the gaming gang to Gen Con, I did an interview with Dominic McDowell, and it was basically, he said, yeah, what do you want? What do you want to take with you to review? It was like anything we wanted. And this was back in the day when Cubicle 7 would publish a lot of other stuff from outside parties. Say like Cake Bread in Walton as an example. So it was like, holy cow. It was like, well, a couple of things. We don't have to get crazy here. But they didn't have Doctor Who yet. They didn't have the one. You know what? They had the One Ring. They didn't have. Obviously, they didn't have Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. But I just really like these guys. They're always cool. Then again, Freely Gone, I have a pretty good relationship. Well, okay, the relationship changed when their PR person left. But I think we're ironing that back out. So, because I think they appreciated the coverage I provided previously. So, anyway, that was on the Free League Discord today, was the info that A Gray Day was sharing. Cool. So, Pinkie is on probation. No, it's not probation. It is, she's allowed upstairs if somebody's up there. Keep an eye on her as she comes right up. She won't hop on my lap. She doesn't like me picking her up. It's not my cat. But she strolled right over by me. Because if she'd hop up on my lap, I'd share what she looks like. She's an all-white cat. But if you've been watching the show for a long time, you have seen Smokey on occasion, because she'll be sleeping on my lap when I start the show a few times. So anyway, very cool news. Speaking of Cubicle 7, I was talking about Cubicle 7 a little bit. I will be doing my page through and first look at the 12th Doctor source book, which just arrived in the mail. I got that yesterday. And it was funny because I knew I had the 4th Doctor source book, because Tom Baker, as I mentioned, he's my doctor. He's my Doctor Who. I was like, where did it go? And I'm looking behind me because I got all these RPG books. I'm like, where is it? And I'm going through boxes of other stuff. Here, sure enough, it was right behind me. I was looking right at it. So I'm actually going to do a video as well with the 4th Doctor source book. And there will be a lot of me like pontificating and reminiscing about episodes of Doctor Who back when I was in about 8th grade. I think it's about 7th, 8th grade is when I first started watching it. Right. 2 more news pieces. So, first of all, there's a core fantasy RPG. There's a core book that's out. It's caught my eye. It's over on Drive-Thru RPG. It's from Moss Games. And I've got the dope on Tales of the Elder Days. A world of legendary adventure awaits. Get ready to spin your own epic Tales of the Elder Days. Welcome to Tales of the Elder Days, a pen and paper fantasy role-playing game that will bring amazing worlds of daring adventure to your gaming table. With just a handful of dice, the core rules, and a few like-minded friends, you'll be facing ravaging orcs, thwarting evil cults, and exploring ancient ruins in no time at all. Tales of the Elder Days will accommodate many styles of play, from the dark and gritty to the lighthearted and whimsical, from quick one-shot adventures to lengthy campaigns. Whatever tales of fantasy mayhem you can imagine, Tales of the Elder Days will let you bring them to life. Tales of the Elder Days is a full-fledged game system offering more than 40 origins, 300 traits, and 300 spells to choose from. Whether you decide to play an armored knight, a shirtless barbarian, mysterious wizard, or are the game master who needs to weave it all together, Tales of the Elder Days offers countless ways to add variety to the characters and the game. All of this at a price you can afford. Get ready, just wait. The digital versions of Tales of the Elder Days is available unabridged for free. Wait till you get the page counts. So it is 406 pages. And the PDF is available as a pay what you want at Drive-Thru RPG. Many companies, Moss Games looks like they're going along with that as well. Their pay what you want is basically they're saying you don't have to pay us anything. So I am sharing some images from the PDF that I had downloaded. I am very surprised because it's loaded with artwork. There's a lot of color art. I was like, whoa, this is serious. Now, I do have the impression that this is a pretty crunchy system, though, especially when we're like, there's 300 defeats, there's over 300 spells. It does look like this could be a crunchier game, but hey, gotta check it out. Pretty wild. Kabuki Kid had mentioned TOR makes me think of the Onion browser or Onion router or whatever it stands for dark web browsing. I have never popped onto the dark web. I have never needed to purchase narcotics or hire hitmen either. So I never really had to go on it. I am familiar with it, but never visited. Because I'm sure that's a rabbit hole I don't need to go down. Anyway, speaking of Drive-Thru RPG, do want to mention that. Two things. The GM's Day sale, which GM's Day is over, but the sale is still on through March 16th over at Drive-Thru RPG. There is loads and loads and loads of stuff that you can save a good amount. Usually about 25%, some or more. There are some bundles as well that you can grab also. So definitely check that out. Something else I do want to mention, I didn't put together a little news piece for it. I always like to share the free games that are available over at the Epic Games store. And last Thursday, which of course I was off, last Thursday, they had two new games. One of them is Off-World Trading. What the hell is it? Off-World Trading Outpost? I think it might be Off-World Trading Outpost. I forget. But I have heard fantastic things about this game. And it is absolutely free through Thursday morning at about 10 a.m. Central Time. So do want to mention that as well. So Kabuki Kid says, yeah, I don't, they're not hitting the dark web either. Could be dangerous. Yeah, I think so. Right, one final news piece, and it is actually not tabletop gaming related. It is Doctor Who related, though, because there is an awesome Humble Bundle going on right now. You probably don't want to miss it if you are a fan of Doctor Who, because it features both Titan Comics, do the official Doctor Who comic books for the various iterations of the Doctor, as well as Big Finish Audio, which if you are a Doctor Who fan, you probably do know Big Finish Audio. Here's the dope. Delectable audiobooks and comics. This bundle is bigger on the inside, and this time around we've bundled up Doctor Who comics and audiobooks for you to enjoy. Read Doctor Who, The Road to the 13th Doctor, and Doctor Who, The 11th Doctor, Volume 3, Conversation. Then listen to Doctor Who Technophobia, and Doctor Who Time Reaver. Plus, your purchase will support BBC Children in Need. Pay $1 or more. Remember, that's how Humble Bundle and Bundle of Holding work. I always start off with something, well, okay, Bundle of Holding doesn't, but Humble Bundle does. Always start at $1. So pay $1 or more. Normally, the total cost for the comics and audiobooks in this bundle could be as much as $648. Here at Humble Bundle, you choose the price and increase your contribution to upgrade your bundle. This bundle has a minimum dollar purchase. You can read these comics anywhere because the comics in this bundle are available in CBZ, PDF, and EPUB formats, so they work on your computer, e-readers, iPads, cell phones, and a wide array of mobile devices. For instructions and a list of recommended media programs also included. You can listen anywhere. The audiobooks in this bundle are available in MP3 format. Instructions and, of course, recommended media programs are included as well. Choose where the money goes between the publishers and BBC Children in Need via the PayPal Giving Fund. I do have to say, the highest tier, which is what includes the entire retail value of about $648, is only $15. Zoinks! Just one audiobook release from Big Finish. Because I do listen to, not all of them, because they've got so much Doctor Who related audio adventures. But I am a huge fan of Lightfoot and Jago, or is it Jago? I think it's Jago and Lightfoot, which are excellent. So once again, going back to a Tom Baker adventure, I wonder if anybody watching out there is going to be like, oh yeah, I know who those two guys are. But normally, one of the audio releases from Big Finish has about 3 or 4 one-hour adventures, and they cost $25 for a digital download. So you can score some massive savings through March 18th. That $15 level, there is also the first volume of the David Tennant Big Finish audio adventures, which also feature Catherine Tate. Man, this is awesome. This is an awesome Humble Bundle. I already got it. I was like, okay. And Titan Comics does some pretty good comics for Doctor Who as well. So I did want to share that. If you are a Doctor Who fan, don't miss out. You've got about 8 days, 8-9 days left to this as well, depending on where you live. So, A Great A says, Cubicle 7 is releasing new Doctor Who Time for the Daleks 2nd edition and expansion. Oh, kind of funny. They always send me new stuff, and I didn't see that news. I'm sorry. Gale Force 9, not C7. There we go. I was going to say, why does that not ring a bell? I have not played the Doctor Who game from Gale Force 9. In fact, I think the only thing I've ever played from Gale Force 9, and I did a review of it, was Spartacus, which was actually pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good game. I didn't think it was as good as, like, a lot of people were like, oh my god, this was amazing! And I was like, that's pretty good. I wouldn't say amazing, but I did give it a good review score. All right, so that is it for tonight's news. What's cooking on the horizon? I have got to do some sorting down here in the Duct Tape Studios. I might actually do some rearranging. I'm not going to do it for this week's shows. But maybe next week, you will probably see a little bit different behind me if I have time. Yeah. Then again, I might get caught watching something on Netflix and binge watching it, not get around to it. But probably will have a little bit different in the back. But also want to point out, you may have noticed this yesterday, should notice it tonight, depending on what you watch on. If you're watching on a phone, probably doesn't have any difference. If you're watching on a big screen TV, you will probably see that I have the stuff behind me in focus. In fact, I think last night it was more in focus than I was in focus. Because I actually am sitting, I'd say about 3.5 feet away from the stuff behind me. I'm not right up against it. But I know I was doing the whole thing where everything was a little bit blurry behind me, kind of as, because that's how people do videos. I thought, you know what? I think people actually want to see what games I run my shelves over here. So, plus, I got the little geek eyes and stuff like that floating around. All right, so that is it for tonight's show. Those of you out there who are watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate people hanging out and catching this show live. Give me people to bounce things off of. Plus, I don't feel like a doofus just sitting here talking into a camera. But of course, if you watch after the fact, maybe even on Memorex, thank you very much for that as well. Of course, give the video a thumbs up. Fight those trolls out there. Subscribe to the channel. If you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it will not only notify you of when the Daily Dope airs, Mondays through Thursdays now, but it'll also tell you when I upload standalone videos, such as my first look at La Resistance from my friends over at Flying Pig Games, which is currently up on Kickstarter. All right, so that is it for tonight's show. Everybody have a great Tuesday night. I know some folks out there, it is their Wednesday morning, so enjoy that as well. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, until then, happy trails. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.